All right, here we go. Don't worry about this mic. It's all for show. It's just there. It's just for show. It's just podcast stuff. So we're going to focus on what the issue is. We're going to get to it. All right. Schools. How are schools funded? Right? School is the one place that kids spend the most time. They spend their first, 14 out of their first 18 years of life in school. And that's the foundation. So let's talk about how schools are funded. Let's talk about how schools are funded. So just make sure that we have the numbers and the data, use a couple of different resources, but also myself, right? I have worked in several different outlets. I worked for Common Core Institute. I know the new teachers understand the language that I'm using. I work for collaborative learning, traveling around the country, going to different school districts, teaching about engagement, but about the new Common Core standards. And I got a chance to travel to different places like New Orleans and the different parishes, to New York, where their public schools have numbers and names, PS 129, where they may have multiple schools in one building. And then I've been in Chicago public schools. I've been working in education in schools since I got out of college. I worked for Follett. I worked for so many different, I worked for Pearson at the community level. So the school thing is something that I have actual experience with, not just being a football coach. I'm not just a football coach. So let's get into the data about how schools are funded. So let's break it down. Let's break it down. Okay. This is the part where we do the editing and the numbers pop up. Boom. So right there, 64% of funding comes from local property taxes. So there's the property taxes in the area around the school. 24% comes from state aid, right? That's directly from the state. That's directly from the legislator. If I'm wrong, please correct me on it. 12% comes from federal dollars, right? So that's the system. That's how schools are funded, right? The local property tax in your area goes to that particular school. So does that system work for a particular school like Morgan Park? For example, at Morgan Park, our school is located on 111th and Vincennes. There's another school that is 0.9 miles away. It's not even a full mile, Julian. There's Finger, which is a little bit over a mile on 111th and Halsted. There's Chaz. And then you have the surrounded elementary schools that are in the neighborhood. The funding from those property taxes in the area goes to those schools, right? But the property taxes, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. The funding from those property taxes goes to those schools, but those property taxes range from $2,000 to maybe like $9,000, $10,000. The Beverly area is a little bit different because the size of the houses and the things like that, so the taxes are a little bit higher. But for the most part, for the majority, the taxes are somewhere between $2,000 and $9,000. Those that live in the Beverly area could tell me. Those that live in the Morgan Park area, I don't know the name of the neighborhood that's near Julian and Finger, but tell me what those are, right? So that's the first example. But a place like Homewood Flossmoor, which is 20 minutes away, which is a school that you have to compete with in athletics. That is a school that you have to compete with in sports, right? Their property taxes range from $13,000 to upwards of 30. And those property taxes all go to that particular one school. So that's the difference, right? When you take a town or you take an area within the state, those property taxes go to that one particular school, that one town, that one district. But in Chicago, those property taxes go to multiple schools in the area, and the taxes are cheaper. So what does that say? Does that system work? Does that system work? Is this mic on? Are they listening to me? Why are urban school districts always underfunded? And I'm saying that to you like, that's a national issue. Does that feel intentional? Does that system work? All right. How do we fix it? What if we could put all the property taxes from the state into one pot? And to make sure all of the schools had equitable resources. Would that be fair? Is that an option? Is that a solution? Does that make sense? Is that fair to the neighborhood that Lockport, their taxes goes to help Chicago? Or some of the state funding that comes with that, or federal aid? Does that work? Is that a possible solution? Could that create some equity? I'm the football coach at Morgan Park. I won't even start with Morgan Park. I got a chance to interview for some other coaching positions before. Yes, I did interview for some other coaching positions before, but I love my school. I ain't going nowhere. They had a mandated allocated budget that had to go to sports. A mandatory number that had to go to sports to make sure that those kids and those coaches had the resources necessary that they needed to be successful, to teach the kids the sport. In Chicago Public Schools, I have a $0 mandated allocated budget to do what I do.
I don't have no money. I don't have no end. Gina, I'm ass out.
And everything that I do, like I have to go directly and ask for everything. And this is not no knock at my administration. This is Chicago Public Schools. This ain't just my school. And my administration is great. They just don't have it. They literally just don't have it. So how does that affect us? What do we do? CPS this year had close to $1 billion deficit. You ever start to ask, like, how does that affect the schools? What do? We just sit back and we just take it. 20 years ago, I won a Prep Bowl playing quarterback, receiver, whatever the case may be. And we went to City Hall for them to thank us or say, like, hey, you guys did a great job. You guys did a great job. We're proud of you, this and that. And Jesse Jackson was down there arguing the same thing. He was down there arguing the same issue. Like, this doesn't work. And at the time, him and Oprah had the kids from New Trier and Harper switch. Harper is closed, by the way. That was a school in West Inglewood. And the kids from New Trier got to see, like, damn, this fucked up. And then the kids from Harper looking at New Trier like, this what they got.
On a cold Tuesday morning, a busload of students from the school in Naperville arrive at Harper High School. The kids from the inner city aren't expecting what they find when they get off the bus either. The differences between the two schools are immediately apparent. This is the Olympic-sized pool at the school in suburbia.
This is our pool over here. Yeah.
Wow, this is real nice.
There's a pool at Harper, too, but it hasn't been filled with water in 10 years.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. I touched it. Oh, it leaks.
In the suburbs, there's a state-of-the-art gym and fitness center.
Oh, my goodness. Y'all get treadmills and bikes.
Do you guys not have a cardio room? Or?
No.
Back in Chicago, the visiting kids find a run-down gym with a leaking ceiling.
Falling apart. What if it's like water? I don't know.
And a beat-up weight room.
Oh my goodness. That would be so uncomfortable. They have worn through it.
A lot of it's like really, really old.
That was 20 years ago. Then you see here all these stories. It's 2025, like we still have the same issues. Why are urban school districts, this is just not Chicago, urban school districts, the majority of schools, the urban school district in their particular area across the country, why is it always underfunded? Why is it always suffering from funding issues, and schools that are 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes from them, they're okay. They have what they need. And this is just not a sports thing that we're talking about, right? You can go ask the teachers. Or we don't have equitable resources at our school. So when it's time to compete for scholarships and academics and getting admitted and all of this, this is the time, this is the place where kids spend the most time. And it feels like it's set up to fail at times. And the only reason that we're afloat is because it's so many people in those underfunded buildings that just care about the kids and doing their job because they really love the kids and they want to see them be successful. And so they push through. Not just me. There's several other teachers. I don't want to single one person now. There's so many people that's doing dope stuff. So let's make real change. Let's make real change. Bam.